and welcome to episode 9 of How to Be Unscammable. This series looks at the steps we all need to take to stay one step ahead of cyber criminals, and in this episode we make sure you know how to surf the web securely. Hi everyone, it's Linda Faucus here, the founder of Glue Society. We're the Canadian nonprofit that helps older adults secure their digital lives and learn to use the technology that's in their lives. Now, we've covered a lot in this series, and each episode could have been much longer, but I worked hard to give you the essentials, and I hope some easy-to-follow steps to secure your digital life. Now, when we go online, we are all surfing the web. Well, it turns out we don't surf the web anymore. We go on the web or we use the web, but that doesn't sound like as much fun. So I like the term surfing the web, which was coined way back in 1992. We surf the web when we click our way from one web page to another using links. And it's kind of hard to imagine a time when we didn't do this. Everything is on the web pretty much today, and that includes cyber criminals. So let's take a look at the steps you need to follow to keep your travels or your surfing through the web unscammable. Your browser is the app or software you use to view what's on the web. The most popular browsers in order are Google's Chrome, Apple's Safari, Microsoft Edge, and Firefox. Browsers are free. Your device probably came with one installed, but you can get other browsers from your app store. And so why would you want to use another browser if you already have one? Well, a few reasons. It's a good idea to get comfortable using two browsers so that if a website is glitching, you have another browser to use, and that often fixes the problem. And as you learn more about digital security, you may decide the browser you're currently using doesn't have the security features you want. All browsers work basically the same, so moving from one browser to another should feel quite intuitive. And there are loads of videos online that can help you learn how to use any of the browsers I've mentioned. No matter what browser you're using, in this step I urge you to learn how to customize its security settings. You should also learn how to use a few other features, and here's a list. Your cache is the information stored on your device when you visit a web page or open an app, and you should learn how to clear your cache. It's a good thing to do from time to time. I do this if I find my browser starts to slow down or feels sluggish. If you share devices with someone else, learn how to delete your browsing history so you don't leave a record of your travels around the web. And if you're not using a password manager yet, check out episode 4 for details on that. Consider using your browser's built-in password manager. This will let you create and manage strong passwords for online accounts you access through that browser. To help you learn to use those features on your browser, I will include a tip sheet that shows you how to access the help section of your browser. In episode 5, you learn to be wary of clicking on links and attachments in emails. Just don't click. That's the advice of digital security experts worldwide. This rule also applies to clicking links on websites that you've never visited before or you don't know very well. Our days of randomly surfing are over. Clicking links to move from one unknown website to another is now a risky thing to do on your computer, your mobile device, and even your smart TV. It can put you at risk of downloading malware, spyware, and viruses onto your devices. We discussed how to protect your devices in episode 8. In this step, I remind you not to fall for clickbait links. Those are those eye-catching links that are written in a way that makes us just want to click on them. And they often take us to websites or social media sites that are simply not good to be visited. They might just give us offers that are too good to pass up and try to convince us to click on links that have malicious software behind them. Hopefully you watched episode 6 so you know all about the tricks hackers use to convince us to click. Don't fall for them. To be unscammable, you should get in the habit of sticking to websites you trust and never clicking links on websites you're unsure of. There is a lot of pirated material online. You can find pirated movies, books, music, apps with a simple search. And while it's tempting maybe, this step is a reminder that pirated material or apps are illegal, and this material often contains malware designed to steal passwords or take over your device. This step is a reminder to keep pirated material away from your devices. It's not worth the risk. If you share devices or a home internet connection with someone who might be tempted by pirated materials, take steps to protect your home network and your devices. Malware and viruses can travel through your home network, so check out episode 4 for more information about that. All main browsers come with a private browsing mode. The Chrome browser calls it incognito mode. The term private browsing makes us think this mode offers more privacy than it really does. It's useful under the right circumstances, but I want to make sure you know what private browsing mode can and can't do. While using this mode, none of your browsing history is saved on your device. This means that people who have access to your device won't be able to see what you've been up to online. So if you share your device with someone and don't want them to know what you've been up to online, private browsing mode is the ticket. It helps you hide your online activity from anyone you share your device with, but it does not make you invisible online. I meet people who think using private browsing mode makes them safer, and when in this mode, dodgy websites can't affect them, but that's not the case. Private browsing mode does not keep you safe from cyber criminals, and it will not protect you from malware. It is useful if you ever have to use someone else's computer, though. Maybe to fill in a form on a public computer or a tablet in a doctor's office, let's say. That's a great moment to use private browsing mode. This will ensure no trace of the data you entered will stay on that computer. I've included steps on how to use private browsing mode for the major browsers. You'll find that in the show notes linked at the end of this episode. Public Wi-Fi is almost everywhere these days. These Wi-Fi connections can also be called hotspots, and you'll find them in most coffee shops, stores, buildings, and shopping centers. Cities are creating city-wide wireless networks. While the convenience of getting online using Wi-Fi from anywhere is handy, these public Wi-Fi connections are notoriously unsafe. There are a variety of ways that cyber criminals can exploit public Wi-Fi networks to potentially spy on and infect any devices connected to that network. The best way to avoid cyber criminals and to stay connected while on the go is to use cellular data and forget Wi-Fi completely. Here in Canada, that was not advice I could give just a few years ago. We pay some of the highest cellular data rates in the world, and we used to have to worry about racking up big cellular data bills. Streaming outside of the house was simply not an option for us. The good news is that today many cellular providers in Canada offer unlimited cellular data plans. That means you can surf away securely from anywhere that has a cellular signal. You don't need Wi-Fi, and that means you don't have to log into a network to do this. If you have a cellular device, talk to your mobile provider to learn more about unlimited cellular data plans and see if they're right for you. Avoid accessing your emails from public Wi-Fi. Your email stores a lot of information about you. We covered this in episode 5. Looking at emails, even from a protected or encrypted web page, is not risk-free on a public Wi-Fi network. You don't want cyber criminals in your inbox. Don't log into accounts on public Wi-Fi. Hackers can use network sniffers to spot personal and important information like your usernames and passwords. Don't download anything over public Wi-Fi. If you want to read that book or watch that show while on the go, download it at home. And here's a tip: if you're a fan of video streaming services like Netflix, don't forget you can download their shows to your device and watch them offline with no internet service required. These shows will take up some storage on your device, but once you've watched the show, you can delete it. And this is a great way to travel with your devices, a chance to avoid those lame airplane movies and to break up some long road trips. Be wary of using public Wi-Fi that asks for your personal details like your name, your email address, or your phone number. If you must connect to a Wi-Fi network like this, consider channeling your alter ego and providing your throwaway email address. Connect to the correct Wi-Fi network. Hackers can create networks with names that spoof legitimate Wi-Fi networks, so watch out for the network named Starbucks Fast Wi-Fi, for instance. If in doubt, ask someone who works there for the name of the right network to use. We covered this in episode 8, but make sure to keep your operating systems updated if you're going to be using public Wi-Fi. Hackers can break into devices that are running old operating systems, and don't give them that chance. Update your operating system before you leave home. If you use public Wi-Fi on a regular basis, consider using a virtual private network tool, also called a VPN. These apps and services secure all communication between your device and the internet, and they can also disguise your online identity. This makes it harder for cybercriminals to track you or steal your data. VPNs are not needed for all of us, but if you have to use public Wi-Fi often, this could be a smart way for you to do so safely. There are a lot of VPNs on the market, and trusted reviews are hard to find. So I suggest if you're interested in using a VPN, that you do your own research online or you talk to your mobile provider for their suggestions. You could also see if your password manager or antivirus protection software has a VPN built in. There's a lot to consider here. HTTPS are the letters you see when you visit secure web pages. You might notice them or the lock icon in the address bar when you're on a secure web page. The S in HTTPS stands for secure and tells us that the data we enter on that website is encrypted. That means it can't be read or sniffed by cybercriminals who may be watching our activity online. It's a good habit to check for HTTPS before you enter any information on a website. Now, most websites you visit today will have this level of protection, and that's because back in 2017, Google started requiring websites to be protected by HTTPS. Modern browsers will show you a warning sign if you try to visit a website that doesn't have HTTPS protecting it. HTTPS was going to be the way we could all know that the websites we were on had some level of protection and could be trusted, but those days are gone. It's so easy for any website to have HTTPS that we can no longer use this as a way to tell if a website can be trusted. According to Fish Labs, almost 80% of scam websites today are using HTTPS. That means that HTTPS can only guarantee that your communication on that website is private and encrypted. It does not guarantee that the website is not controlled by cybercriminals. The trick to staying away from scam websites is to avoid phishing emails and be careful of what links you click on. Don't click on website links that look suspicious or sound too good to be true, because they probably are. And keep an eye out for alerts from your browser that you might be visiting a web page that has been flagged as a bad actor. This step is to understand HTTPS does not guarantee that you are safe from cyber criminals. So start to curate a list of websites you trust and avoid surfing your way around the web using potentially scam links. Step 1. Secure your browser. Check out the security settings for the browser you're using. Make sure you're comfortable with how your browser is set up and that you can use the basic security features of that browser. And consider adding a second browser to your life. This will help you deal with glitchy websites. Step 2. Do not click on suspicious web links or pop-ups. Bad links are designed to get us to click on them. They are clickbait with headlines and offers that are often too good to be true. Many designed to lure us over to scam websites. Don't fall for it. Only click on links on websites you trust. Step 3. Stay away from pirated material. Pirated material can be tempting. The links and websites that offer this material are often full of malware. Make sure you avoid downloading or streaming any pirated material and give this reminder to anyone using your home network. Step 4. Understand private browsing mode. Private browsing mode is a way to keep your travels through the web private from anyone who is sharing your device. But be aware it does not keep you safe from cyber criminals. Another time to use private browsing mode is if you have to enter personal information into a website from someone else's device. Step 5. Be very careful using public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi may be convenient, but it can be a hotbed for cyber criminals. If you have a mobile device, consider using your cellular connection when possible. And if you have to use public Wi-Fi, watch what you're doing. No emailing, downloading, or visiting websites that you need to enter your personally identifiable information on. And if you need to use public Wi-Fi often, consider using a VPN or a virtual private network to make your travels through the web secure. Don't trust HTTPS. We can't rely on HTTPS or the lock icon to tell us if a website we are visiting is legitimate. Those days are gone. Only visit websites you trust, and don't click on links or add personal information to websites you don't. If you have to log into online accounts while in public, watch out for shoulder surfers. Those are the criminals who can be lurking nearby, trying to record usernames and passwords as you enter them. It's a common scam, especially in crowded spaces like bus stations, airports, and train stations and coffee shops and things. Something to consider when you're traveling as well. And those are the steps to keep your web surfing unscammable. Browsers make surfing the web possible, but they also collect a great deal of information about us as we travel around the web. So make sure to do a security tune-up on your browser and learn how to use its security features. And please be very careful when using public Wi-Fi. Whenever possible, use a cellular connection when you're online. It's more secure. And talk to your mobile provider about adding an unlimited cellular data plan to your account, and that way you can stay connected securely while you're on the go. We are almost at the end of this series. In our final episode, we look at how to make your apps and online accounts unscammable. I'll see you in episode 10.